we came in. The 90-degree wall is a staple of wargames, perfect for obscuring line of sight, adding a gothic flair to the battlefield, and taking up too much space on the shelf. Organizing gaming accoutrements is a genre of video all to itself. But with only a few dollars and some trash pandery, these collapsible walls can fill your table and your shelf. Let's get into it. First, cut a 2" by 3" rectangle out of a cereal box you bought so you could be more normal. Realize you've already run out of clever one-liners and vamping is hard. Create a grid on the square and use it to draw and cut out the shape of a church window. Buy a piece of foamcore from the $1.25 and also now some other prices store and cut out 4 6" by 6" squares. Peel off the paper. And use the stencil to trace 6 windows on the side of each wall. Draw lightly on the foam because it could leave a bad impression, like when I did my Schwarzenegger at that funeral. Cut out the windows with an X-Acto knife, and if you can't find one, use an approximate knife. Take a moment to throw up out of shame for that terrible joke before redeeming yourself with After balling up a large piece of the world's worst bubblegum, lay out the 4 walls and press the foil into the foam to create a realistic stone texture. If you don't have tinfoil, you can always use a rock or your dry elbows. Grab that box of irregular breakfast cereal and cut a few strips that'll be used to decorate the walls. Crumple up the strips and glue them along the midline and bottom of the walls. For this process, I like Eileen's tacky glue. Sure, she likes her steak well done and wears cheetah print in public, but she's a nice lady. Just be forewarned that no matter how many strips you think you're going to need, you will have to go back and cut more. Grab some kebab sticks and cut them into 4 1" sections. I mean ½ sections. Press them into the sides of the walls with some glue and poke corresponding holes into the other walls to create joints. Cut another strip of foam and 8 small ledges glued halfway up the wall for the platforms to rest on. And now popsicle sticks. Warm up a hot glue gun and glue the popsicle sticks into a platform. Space them out to give them a more ramshackle look. Now to ruin the walls. Rip the walls apart at an angle coming down from the corner. These walls are supposed to look like they've been properly destroyed, like they bombed harder than my Schwarzenegger at that funeral. Then completely cover them in a mixture of Mod Podge and black paint. This will make them stronger and help with the base coat. Once dry, use Apple Barrel's black and a makeup brush that can play a funky bass line and cover the walls completely in a thin layer of paint. Make sure to apply the paint thinly so that the details show through. Get the windowsills and all the crevices. Let dry again and use Apple Barrel's pewter gray to give everything a highlight by dipping the brush and wiping most of the paint off on the carpet or a piece of cardboard. Brush lightly over all surfaces. Then use Apple Barrel's white and repeat the process using less paint and lighter strokes. For some added flair, painstakingly format an assortment of tiny posters so that you have an excuse to tag your favorite movie in the description. Glue them to the walls while avoiding the temptation of making the rookie mistake of gluing them slightly off kilter. It never ends well. For enough added flair to make the manager at Tchotchkes happy, mix Apple Barrel's barn and bright red and use a stiff brush to flick paint all over the walls. Lastly, grab the platforms from earlier and use a watered-down mixture of Apple Barrel's burnt lumber to saturate everything that's left. These walls are a quick and easy way to fill a table for Dungeons & Dragons, Warhammer, or any other miniatures game. They store easily and can be taken from place to place, and if you're feeling fancy, magnets can be used in place of kebab sticks. Have a good one. Isn't this where?